On June 16, 1944, Saipan prepared for the largest armored counterattack the Pacific had ever witnessed.
American forces, exhausted but holding firm, braced for an assault they sensed was coming.
Sherman tanks stood ready, their crews uncertain of what awaited them in the darkness ahead.
Across the island, the Japanese 9th Tank Regiment gathered, 44 armored vehicles prepared for a desperate nocturnal charge.
Concealed in silence, Japanese tanks awaited the order to move.
They would attack in massed formation, attempting to break through American lines in one decisive blow.
Nightfall offered them cover, but it would also mask the danger ahead.
American armored forces prepared defensively, unaware of the scale of the attack forming in the shadows.
Then, deep in the night, the stillness broke.
44 tanks surged forward, an unprecedented armored thrust in the Pacific War. American flares illuminated the oncoming threat, revealing the magnitude of the assault.
The counterattack had begun.
Sherman crews responded instantly, their fire piercing the night.
The first Japanese tanks fell within minutes, yet the attack pressed on.
Japanese armor answered with fierce determination, pushing forward despite the withering air. Their charge was relentless, driven by orders to break the American line at all costs.
American armor repositioned with precision, forming a bulwark against the oncoming assault.
Sherman firepower proved decisive, their 75mm guns cutting through enemy armor.
Many Japanese tanks fell quickly, unable to withstand the superior penetration of American rounds.
Visibility collapsed into chaos, fire, smoke, and shadows merging into a single violent storm.
The ground itself was torn apart as steel clashed in the Pacific's most intense armored confrontation.
Japanese commanders sought openings, pushing their tanks wide to find a weakness in the Marine line.
The lighter Japanese tanks, with thin armor, were rapidly destroyed under the concentrated American fire.
Within minutes, the field was littered with wreckage, yet the attack continued.
For American infantry, the chaos was overwhelming, tanks clashing mere yards from their foxholes.
American gunners worked tirelessly, maintaining constant pressure against the advancing column.
Tank duels erupted across the field, each exchange shaping the fate of the night.
Even as losses mounted, isolated Japanese tanks charged ahead, refusing to retreat.
American armor, acting in unity, delivered devastating volleys to halt the attack's momentum.
Some Japanese tanks pressed forward even while on fire, driven by unyielding orders to break the American line.
Artillery thundered across the field, yet it could not fully stop the armored thrust.
The battlefield became a maze of shadows, steel, and fire, an armored engagement unparalleled in the Pacific.
Sherman crews maneuvered aggressively, refusing to yield ground.
Japanese armor regrouped for a final drive, concentrating their remaining strength.
For the Marines on the ground, the assault's climax approached with terrifying speed.
American commanders identified the decisive approach. This final charge would determine the night's outcome.
The American response was immediate and overwhelming.
The leading Japanese vehicles were destroyed within seconds. Others tried to maneuver through the chaos, but the American barrage was unrelenting.
The counterattack began to fracture under mounting losses.
American armor pushed forward, seizing control of the field. The battlefield transformed into a landscape of destruction, tanks burning where they fell.
The final isolated Japanese tanks were eliminated one by one.
Within the first hour, the battlefield bore the wreckage of dozens of Japanese tanks.
American armor pressed forward carefully, aware that isolated Japanese vehicles still roamed the field.
Many Japanese tanks lay destroyed exactly where they made contact, victims of concentrated and accurate fire.
The Marines' defensive perimeter held firm, reinforced by their armored support.
Shermans maneuvered across the damaged terrain, sweeping for survivors of the armored assault. The remnants of the 9th Tank Regiment attempted to reform, but their strength had been shattered.
Any renewed advance was met with immediate resistance. American firepower proved decisive, their shells tearing through thin Japanese armor.
Some crews were forced to abandon their vehicles as their machines fell around them.
By now, the Americans had full control of the engagement.
American armor consolidated its position, ensuring the counterattack could not resume.
The aftermath revealed the scale of destruction inflicted upon the Japanese assault.
Few tanks of the 9th Regiment remained intact.
The largest Japanese armored counterattack of the Pacific War had ended in decisive failure. By midnight, the assault had collapsed entirely.
American tanks advanced methodically, confirming the destruction of nearly the entire Japanese armored force.
The intense heat melted steel, leaving behind grim reminders of the battle's violence.
Entire platoons were lost within minutes, unable to penetrate the American defenses. Infantry advanced behind armor, securing ground the Japanese could no longer contest.
The counterattack had cost Japan its armored regiment on Saipan.
The landscape bore scars that would remain long after the battle ended. American armor stood unbroken, its discipline and firepower pivotal in repelling the assault. As dawn approached, silence reclaimed the island. Morning light revealed the magnitude of Japan's loss.
The failure of the June 16th armored counterattack marked a turning point. Saipan would soon fall, bringing the war in the Pacific.
Like the video, subscribe for more, and share to support the channel.